When we talk about the power of emotional energy, we're diving into something far deeper than simple words, gestures, or even actions. It's the invisible current that flows beneath everything we do. You see, people often believe that it's the material things that win hearts, that it's gifts, money, or status that truly capture someone's affection. But in reality, what women, and really all human beings, crave most is a certain feeling. It is that invisible vibration you give off when you're present with them, when you're attentive, when you're not just listening but truly hearing. Emotional energy is the life force that connects one soul to another, and women love when you give them the feeling of being deeply seen, valued, and understood. Think about it. Every interaction between two people is either an energy exchange that uplifts and expands or one that drains and diminishes. When you walk into a room with genuine confidence, not arrogance but authentic confidence, you shift the atmosphere without saying a word. The energy you carry communicates before your mouth even opens. Women pick up on this instantly because emotional intelligence is finely tuned within them. They feel the energy of certainty, of peace, of safety, and it is that safety that allows them to open their hearts. Emotional energy, when aligned and intentional, creates trust, and trust is the bridge that makes love and connection possible. It is not about pretending or putting on an act. Pretending is surface level, it has no real vibration behind it. True energy comes from alignment between your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. When those three things are in harmony, you radiate a frequency that cannot be faked. Imagine a man who says he is confident, but inside his mind is filled with self, doubt, and fear. The words might sound right, but the vibration does not match. Women sense that dissonance immediately, but when a man thinks with clarity, feels with certainty, and acts with integrity, the energy he carries is magnetic. It gives a woman the feeling that she can trust, that she can lean in, that she can let her guard down. What women truly desire is the feeling of being prioritized, not in a way that strokes their ego, but in a way that acknowledges their worth. Emotional energy says, I see you, I value you, you matter here. That doesn't require grand speeches or extravagant actions. Sometimes it's in the quiet presence of truly listening, holding eye contact, letting your phone rest aside, and being fully immersed in the moment. That is emotional energy. That is the vibration of presence, and it's one of the greatest gifts you can ever give another human being. Women love when you give them that feeling because it tells them they are significant. Significance is a human need, but for women, it resonates in an even deeper way because it reassures them of their place in your world. Now, here is the powerful truth. Emotional energy is contagious. When you give off the energy of peace, safety, love, and joy, the other person receives it and mirrors it back to you. It multiplies, it expands, you cannot fake it and you cannot contain it. The vibration you emit comes back amplified. This is why so many relationships falter, not because of a lack of material wealth, not because of a lack of physical attraction, but because the emotional energy between the two people is mismatched. When one person gives off insecurity, doubt, or chaos, the other feels it. No matter how good the words may sound, the energy betrays the truth. But when you radiate certainty, kindness, and genuine appreciation, it creates a safe space for a woman to be fully herself, and that is the feeling she loves most. Consider how emotional energy works even outside of romantic relationships. Have you ever walked into a room where tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife? No words were spoken, but you felt it in your chest, in your gut. That is energy. On the other hand, have you entered a space where the atmosphere felt light, joyful, alive? Again, it wasn't the furniture or the decoration, it was the energy of the people. Women are finely attuned to these subtle shifts. When you are able to create an emotional environment of peace and safety, you become unforgettable. The memory of how you made them feel will last longer than any word you said, and this is why emotional energy is so powerful. It bypasses logic, it bypasses reasoning, it goes directly into the heart. A woman may not remember every word you spoke, but she will remember the way her spirit responded in your presence. She will remember the calm, the warmth, the excitement, the safety. That is what she holds on to. Emotional energy is not about manipulation. It is about alignment. When you align your inner world with the kind of love, confidence, and peace you want to share, you naturally give that feeling without effort. The secret lies in becoming aware of the energy you are transmitting. Every thought you think generates a frequency. Every feeling you dwell upon expands that frequency. Every action you take broadcasts it louder. If your inner world is filled with negativity, fear, or resentment, you will inevitably radiate that outward. But when your inner world is cultivated with gratitude, with clarity, with vision, and with love, then what you give to others is a vibration that uplifts. Women love when you give them this feeling because it connects to their deepest need, the need to feel safe, valued, and loved at the level of the soul. It is not about the car you drive, the clothes you wear, or the titles you hold. It is about the energy that flows from your being, the vibration that tells them, without words, you are safe here. You are valued here, you are seen here. That is the power of emotional energy. When you hear the word no, what is the first feeling that comes to mind? For most people, it is rejection. It feels personal, heavy, and final. But the truth is, every no is simply a redirection, a turning of the compass, guiding you towards something greater. The problem is that most people interpret no as a closing door, when in reality it is life whispering, not this way, but there is another path waiting for you. Women, men, all of us, we face rejection in one form or another, whether in love, business, friendships, or personal pursuits. Yet those who succeed, those who rise above, are the ones who have learned to reinterpret the no, not as an ending, but as a signal pointing toward the right beginning. Think back to your own life. How many times have you wanted something so badly, only to be told no, only to feel crushed, only to believe that your dream was slipping away? And yet, months later or years later, you realized that the thing you thought you needed was not right for you. Maybe it was a job you didn't get, a relationship that didn't work out, an opportunity that slipped through your fingers. At the time, it felt devastating, but looking back, you can see how it saved you, how it freed you, how it positioned you for something infinitely better. That is the hidden gift inside every no. It is not life punishing you, it is life protecting you. It is life ensuring that you don't settle for less than what you truly deserve. The issue is not the no itself. The issue is the story we tell ourselves after we hear it. Most people internalize rejection as proof of their inadequacy. They hear no and translate it into I am not good enough, I am unworthy, I will never succeed. But those thoughts are distortions. A no is not evidence of your unworthiness. It is feedback, it is information, it is a course correction. The people who achieve greatness in any field are not those who never hear no. In fact, they often hear it more than anyone else. The difference is that they refuse to accept no as the final answer. They use it as fuel, as direction, as guidance. Imagine if every inventor, every visionary, every leader had stopped at the first no. The light bulb would never have been created. The airplane would never have left the ground. The greatest works of art would never have been painted. History is filled with men and women who embraced rejection as part of the journey. They understood that every closed door meant they were one step closer to the open door. Every no eliminated one wrong path, clearing the way for the right one. This mindset is the difference between despair and determination. What most people do not realize is that a no is often a test of alignment. It is life asking, how badly do you want this? How committed are you to your vision? Will you let this rejection define you, or will you rise above it? A no. Stop making promises you have no intention of keeping to sharpen your focus, to deepen your resilience. Every time you get back up after hearing it, you grow stronger. Every time you choose not to take it personally, you expand. Every time you keep moving forward, you prove to yourself that you are not defined by outside validation, but by your inner certainty. Women, especially, are sensitive to how men handle rejection, not because they want to reject you, but because they want to see your response. Do you crumble? Do you lash out? Do you give up? Or do you hold your ground with grace? Your response to no reveals your strength of character. A man who can hear no without losing his sense of self, without allowing bitterness to cloud his energy, is a man who is deeply grounded. That kind of resilience is magnetic because it shows emotional maturity. It communicates that he does not rely on approval to validate his worth. Think of no as a teacher. It teaches you patience, it teaches you humility, it teaches you creativity. Sometimes a no is telling you to adjust your approach, to refine your skills, to try a different strategy. Other times, it is telling you that what you desire is not aligned with your true destiny. And still other times, it is preparing you for a bigger opportunity than you could have imagined. But you can only see that when you refuse to stop at the surface level. On the surface, no feels like rejection. Beneath the surface, it is guidance, protection, and preparation. Most people never realize that the most important no is not the one others give you, but the one you give yourself. The ability to say no to fear, no to doubt, no to negative self-talk, no to toxic environments. This is the foundation of personal power. Every external rejection loses its sting when your inner yes to your vision is strong. When your inner yes is louder than the world's no, you cannot be stopped. You may be delayed, you may be redirected, but you will not be denied. The no you hear today may feel painful, but in time it will reveal itself as a stepping stone. The relationships that didn't work out were making room for the ones that will. The opportunities you lost were clearing the way for the ones that fit. The closed doors were never locked. They were simply rerouting you to a greater destination. And when you begin to see rejection not as rejection but as redirection, you discover that every no is secretly pointing you toward the exact path your destiny requires. Feelings are not just passing moods that visit us from time to time. They are the invisible architects of our lives. Every decision we make, every step we take, and every outcome we experience is shaped, in one way or another, by the feelings we consistently allow to dominate our inner world. Feelings are the language of the subconscious mind, and the subconscious is the driving force behind our destiny. When you understand this, you realize that negative feelings are not random, nor are they powerless. They are signals. They are indicators pointing toward what needs to be shifted, what needs to be healed, and what needs to be released in order for you to move forward. The truth is that most people are prisoners of their feelings. They wake up in the morning and let their emotions dictate the direction of the day. If they feel low, the entire day takes on a shadow. If they feel stressed, every interaction is filtered through tension. But what many never realize is that feelings are not meant to enslave you, they are meant to guide you. Negative feelings in particular are like warning lights on the dashboard of a car. When the light flashes, you don't throw away the car, you pay attention. You check under the hood. You look at what needs attention, what needs correction. In the same way, when you experience fear, doubt, anger, or sadness, it is life's way of saying, something here needs awareness, something here is ready to be transformed. The danger comes when people allow negative feelings to harden into identities. Instead of saying, I feel unworthy, they begin to declare, I am unworthy. Instead of saying, I feel rejected, they begin to believe, I am rejection itself. This is how feelings shape destiny, by being repeated, by being rehearsed, by being allowed to etch themselves into the story we tell ourselves. Over time, those repeated emotional states become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you feel unworthy long enough, you stop going after opportunities. If you feel unloved long enough, you push away connection. If you feel incapable long enough, you stop trying. Your destiny begins to shrink, not because the world has denied you, but because your feelings have convinced you to deny yourself. But just as negative feelings can shrink destiny, elevated feelings can expand it. Gratitude, joy, confidence, love, hope. These feelings carry an energy that opens doors, attracts opportunities, and draws people toward you. A person who carries gratitude is magnetic because gratitude shifts the vibration of every interaction. A person who carries confidence becomes attractive because their energy says, "I believe in myself, and I can also believe in you." A person who carries joy lights up a room because joy is contagious. It multiplies. When you cultivate these elevated feelings consistently, your destiny shifts because you are no longer creating from fear, but from faith, no longer from lack, but from abundance. Feelings are like seeds planted in the soil of the mind. A negative feeling is like planting a thorn. It grows and spreads until it overtakes the garden. A positive feeling is like planting a flower. It blossoms, it attracts life, it adds beauty to everything around it. The subconscious mind does not argue with you, it simply takes in the feelings you feed it and builds a reality around them. This is why people who expect failure often find it, while those who expect success seem to attract it effortlessly. It is not that one group is favored and the other is not. It is that one group has allowed their feelings to align with expansion, while the other has allowed their feelings to shrink there. Because it multiplies perspective and insight, the power lies in awareness. When you become aware that a negative feeling is rising, you may walk far more slowly. You can surrender to it, or you can transform it. You can let fear close the door, or you can use it as a signal to step into courage. You can let doubt paralyze you, or you can use it as a reminder to strengthen your vision. You can let sadness define you, or you can allow it to deepen your compassion. Feelings are not fixed, they are fluid. They can be redirected, reshaped, and reframed. When you treat them as energy rather than identity, you realize you are never truly at the mercy of your emotions. Your destiny is not written in stone, it is written in the energy you carry every single day, and that energy is shaped by your dominant feelings. If you want a new destiny, you must cultivate new feelings. If you want a life filled with love, practice feeling love now. If you want abundance, practice feeling abundant now. If you want freedom, practice feeling free now. This is not imagination, it is alignment. The feelings you embody today become the reality you step into tomorrow. Negative feelings, when left unexamined, become chains that hold you back. Positive feelings, when nurtured, become wings that lift you higher. Every decision you make is born out of one of two energies, faith or fear. There is no middle ground. Every choice, every action, every hesitation, every leap can be traced back to which of these two forces you allow to dominate your mind. Faith and fear are not just emotions, they are creative powers. They are two sides of the same coin, both rooted in imagination. Fear is the imagination used in the wrong direction. It pictures failure, loss, rejection, and catastrophe. Faith is the imagination used correctly. It sees possibilities, solutions, and outcomes not yet visible. The difference between the two lies in what you choose to focus on, and that choice is what determines the trajectory of your life. Fear is the default for most people because the human mind has been conditioned to protect, to anticipate danger, to avoid risk. Fear whispers, what if you fail? What if they reject you? What if you lose everything? And because those questions are charged with emotion, people give them authority. They allow fear to dictate their behavior. Fear keeps them from speaking up, from trying again, from pursuing love, from chasing dreams. But what is often overlooked is that fear is nothing more than faith inverted. When you are afraid, you are placing faith in the wrong outcome. You are believing in your defeat before it happens. You are putting trust in failure. You are investing your energy into a future you do not want. Faith, on the other hand, is the conscious choice to believe in what you cannot yet see, to hold the image of success, of connection, of love, even when reality hasn't caught up yet. Faith says, yes, I may fail, but what if I succeed? Yes, they may say no, but what if they say yes? Yes, this may be hard, but what if it is worth it? Faith doesn't deny challenges. It simply refuses to give them power over the vision. Where fear paralyzes, faith mobilizes. Where fear closes doors, faith opens them. Where fear shrinks destiny, faith expands it. Think about how relationships are built. A woman senses whether a man operates from fear or from faith. If he approaches her with fear, his energy will show insecurity, hesitation, and doubt. He will need constant validation because fear makes him question his own worth. But if he approaches her with faith, not arrogance but certainty, his energy communicates confidence, security, and strength. Faith in himself radiates as faith in the connection, and that creates an environment where trust can grow. Women love the feeling of safety and certainty that comes from a man who chooses faith over fear. The same principle applies in business, in health, in personal growth. Every successful venture has been born out of faith. The world's greatest innovations began as visions in the mind of someone who believed before evidence existed. The airplane was faith, the light bulb was faith, every great work of art was faith. The people who dared to dream had the same fears as everyone else, but they refused to allow those fears to govern their choices. They fed faith until faith became stronger than fear. What you give energy to expands. Feed fear with your attention, and it grows until it dominates every thought and dictates every move. Feed faith with your attention, and it expands until it overrides fear. It is not that people of faith never feel afraid, they simply do not bow to fear. They recognize it as a signal, not a sentence. They use fear as a reminder to lean into faith even harder, to strengthen the vision, to hold the image with more clarity. The battle between faith and fear is fought in the mind. Every thought you repeat becomes a belief, and every belief becomes a filter through which you see the world. If you constantly dwell on negative outcomes, you are programming fear into your subconscious, and your behavior will follow. But if you consistently visualize success, embody gratitude, and affirm possibility, you are programming faith, and your subconscious will lead you toward the actions that align with that vision. Fear is heavy. It weighs you down and keeps you from moving. Faith is light. It lifts you, it pulls you forward, it gives you strength. Fear builds walls, faith builds bridges. Fear sees the obstacle, faith sees the way through it. Fear keeps you waiting, faith gets you moving. And in every situation, you are the one who decides which to empower. No one can choose for you. Fear may be loud, but faith is stronger when you nurture it. Your destiny bends to whichever you choose most consistently. A life led by fear becomes smaller with time. Doors close, opportunities fade, relationships weaken, potential remains unrealized, but a life led by faith expands. It grows richer, fuller, more abundant, because faith opens the heart, sharpens the mind, and strengthens the spirit. The feeling of faith is magnetic. It draws the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing. And every time you act from faith instead of fear, you tell life, I trust the process, I trust the outcome, I trust myself. That trust becomes the foundation upon which everything else is built.